You thought a narcissist was bad. Wait until you meet an avoidant. Wait until you meet an avoidant, boy. All you people with abandonment issues, you ever meet an avoidant, you lot are oh my days. Wait until you meet an avoidant. Wait until you meet someone who just stares you in your face like this. You finished. Wait until you meet that person, yeah? The minute you start getting into the meat and the potatoes of the argument, they lock the phone. Boop. Oh my. They're quick to run away from the problems. Are you ladies, try having a baby with an avoidant. Oh, I'm pregnant. That brother's gone.
Hi guys, and welcome to Class with Coco. I go by the name of Classy Coco, and you already know how it goes. So, I was wrong. My ex was a narcissist who I wasted how many years with? 5 years or so, and we have a child together. I learned a lot about myself in that relationship, and I grew as a result of that relationship, even though it was very painful. I took off those rose-colored spectacles and saw the world for what it really was, which was a place full of people who can be good, but a lot of them are fucking manipulative and fuckery. So I vowed to myself that I'm going to invest in myself, and when I invest in myself, no one can take that away from me, as opposed to when I was around the narcissist and I was investing a lot of energy into him because there was always problems because I didn't understand the way that he operated. Well, I spent many years by myself, celibate for many years, and as you can see on my channel, I've spoken about this new individual that I've been seeing for a few years now. I was quite confused because he's so sweet in comparison to the narcissist that I was with, who was very argumentative and just vicious in his ways. This man was very sweet whenever I was around him, and I'm not talking sweet in him buying me gifts, just his personality. I've realized that he is not a narcissist, he's actually an avoidant. And because of my training, I call it training, from my ex, and going through that, I'm able to cut off and not try and fish for answers or closure from him, which has been very hard because he just keeps popping up like a whack-a-mole or whatever they call those fucking toys. He just keeps popping back up, circling my home, just randomly texting me. He tells me he loves me, all the things that I wished my narcissist would do instead of me chasing him for answers and for love. This person does, but he does it on his own terms, and he does it when I don't chase him when he disappears. I realized a long time ago that whenever we would have a disagreement, or it doesn't even have to be a big disagreement, just when I don't want to do things his way, he just disappears. If we're in the middle of a call and I say something he doesn't like, he just puts down the phone and he will just disappear. The longest he's disappeared for is like 9 weeks, and then he'll just pop back up. And that was confusing, just like it was when I was with the narcissist, because it's like How can this person claim to care and do that to you? Um, so I've realized upon further research that this motherfucker is an avoidant. And the video that I played when this video started is so true, because it's like, I don't know which one's worse. Both of them are just as bad in it as each other, but just in different ways. Because it's like you have to mourn someone that disappears, and you take that as a, as a sign that they're not interested in you, and so you mourn them, and then they just pop back up. And because of the gentle ways in which he is when he's around me, it's very hard and difficult for me to say no. But how many chances can you give someone before you yourself acknowledge that you're dumb for doing so? And before you realize that this person's just taking the piss. Now, there's excuses for everyone. I'm an empath, I've got an excuse for being soft, but you have to realize and recognize that this is a personality trait, and that person is not going to change. And we can say that he's not really interested in me. I would say that, because to me, if you were really interested in someone, you wouldn't treat them like that. This man says he's never going to leave me alone, and at this point, he's got no choice but to, because I don't want to be around someone who comes around me to prop their energy up and disappears almost like it's a fucking game. It's quite psychologically damaging for me. And yeah, so I feel like I'm in the Game of Thrones or something like that, or like, that's how it feels sometimes. But I realize that this is training for my soul to be able to recognize and spot these traits within people, and to not allow them access into my life. If somebody does that even once, you have to really recognize that this person cannot care about you, or is nothing like you, especially if you're an empath. If they're able to just disappear, and know that it causes you pain when they do that, it's really heartbreaking. I do feel as though it's a test for myself to operate in self-love and self-preservation. And so yeah, I was wrong, guys. He is not a narcissist. He's actually an avoidant. And I don't know who I'm going to meet next, because I don't want to meet anyone, but somehow they just seem to slip in through the gaps. I'm not a person that just allows people into my life. It took me 5 years of celibacy before I opened up to someone. Another thing is that I was attracted to him and my ex based on energy. The energy was very intense. And when you feel intense energy like that, you have to realize that opposites attract, and energy never lies. So I don't know how to explain this, but that attraction between good and bad and dark and light is so powerful. But that in itself is a catalyst for you to grow. You have to understand that. So if you try and run away from that, you would never learn the lessons that you need to learn. Now I've learned exactly what an avoidant is, as opposed to just reading it via text, or through manuals and books, or learning about it. I've actually had first-hand experience of this kind of character, and I will say that my logic is making me not want to say this, but I know that the same intensity in which I felt attracted to him is the same intensity that he felt attracted to me, because we are opposites. However, it's very difficult for people to let go of the traits that they have. And in his case, it's being avoidant and not wanting to deal with anything. I don't know if that comes from a place of ego. Some people may argue that it comes from childhood, just like some people say that empaths are developed in childhood. But it gives that person no right to treat another person badly or in ways in which they would not like to be treated. So I believe that that's a test for him, because if I operate in self-love and, you know, I learn to hold on to my boundaries, those are new aspects of self that I'm developing. Is something that I haven't been used to. I've gotten used to it being with the narcissist and now dealing with this avoidant. So in his case, he would need to let go of that ego and understand that if he doesn't change certain aspects of himself or integrate certain aspects within himself, he will then lose things or people such as myself that is good for him. I do feel as though his ways of being in general, we would get along. However, I'm not going to lose myself to prop up his sense of self, and clearly he doesn't want to lose any parts of his self to enable him to keep me around. So yeah, just a quick video, just a quick insight. If you are going through it with a narcissist or an avoidant person, you have to understand that the energy that you spend on them, you have to be willing to spend that energy on yourself and withdraw that energy from them. You have to be able to mirror their behaviors to them, i.e., if he disappears, you're not chasing him, you're getting on and investing that energy into yourself, as opposed to spending it on him by calling and texting. Like, these things prop up their ego and makes them feel strong. He always says to me whenever he would come back around, like, oh, I asked him one time, like, oh, you been okay? And he's like, well, like, you care. And I thought, are you mad? Like, that sounds as like a little baby, like a child, that you actually wanted me to chase you so that you feel like I care. And if it takes that for you to feel like I care, I cannot give you that. You have to change towards me, and then I would be able to spend some energy on you, but not all of it, not all of me. So yeah, I hope that made sense to you. It's very painful going through a process like this. It's very painful feeling as though you're not good enough for someone, and if you're not in the right headspace, you would interpret that as though something's wrong with you, and that, you know, you are not, what's the word, good enough to even have relationships. Do not let these people and their weird ways and their bad traits mirror onto you that you are not good enough, because you are. So yeah, on that note, I'm gone. I hope you're all good, and I'll catch you all up soon. Have a blessed night. Bye.
I don't need you, baby.